So we are now getting towards the end of 2024, and for many of us that means we're gearing up for winding down and enjoying a bit of time off over the Christmas period. I'm definitely looking forward to spending some time with family and just having a bit of a break, time out of work and just being out of my work headspace. I actually just came back from a little city break in York. I decided I was just going to take 3 days off, just go somewhere in the UK, a nice little city break. Caught up with a friend of mine who lives nearby and did a bit of sightseeing, a bit of Christmas shopping, and just treated myself to some nice food, stuff like that. And I didn't realise how much I actually needed that until I got there. It's been a good year in a lot of ways, but it's also been a tough year in a lot of ways for me. And it's just been a tiring year. I'm just tired. And I need to recharge my batteries a little. I have some live sound work. I'm working right up until the 23rd. But most of it is relatively easy work and just in the evenings. So tonight I'm working doing a live sound job. It's just a few hours in the evening. Very easy covers band thing. And I figured with the time that I'd have free in the day on those working days, I could get here in the studio and do some stuff like film some YouTube videos, get some videos out before Christmas because I've got loads of ideas, just talking about various topics and then also talking about some new purchases that I've made. I bought these Bifaly mics that a lot of people on YouTube have been talking about. They're from AliExpress. I won't get into it in this video, but they're quite inexpensive mics that people are saying punch way above their weight. And I've only tested them out briefly on my voice since they arrived. Off the basis of that, I will tell you that they do seem like they punch above their weight. I've got some recording sessions booked in the new year where I'm gonna try those out and then hopefully use some of that audio, get some video recorded for it as well, and be able to use that and make some sort of video review for you guys. But anyway, getting back from this city break, I realised that I was still quite tired, and other than doing the work that I had booked in, the live sound work that I've got leading up to Christmas, I realised I don't want to do anything else outside of that. I just kind of want to just chill at home and play some video games or, just not do a lot basically. But I had to come in here today. I had some PA hire that I'd sent out that was being dropped back off here. So I figured I'd come in here and then do a little bit of admin as well and also update some plugins, install some new plugins that I had to install. So the Waves Black Friday plugin that they do for free every year, I bagged myself that, but still hadn't activated it and installed it. So I figured I'd get that installed, a free UAD one as well that they're offering up until I think it's the 24th of December. It's a plate reverb of some sort, so I'm interested to try that one out. So I hopped on my computer to get those installed, and in doing that I was reminded of, with Waves and UAD and a lot of plugin manufacturers now, they all have their own software hub thing where you can activate and install and deal with your licenses for all their plugins rather than having separate installers as you used to for individual plugins, which for me personally I much prefer generally. And this is what I wanted to talk about in this video, and I'd be interested to see if you guys feel the same, because I get quite sick of all these different bits of software that I have to download just to be able to install the software that I actually want for plugins. So Waves have Waves Central and UAD have UA Connect, although there's also another bit of software for the DSP plugins. So depending on whether you're using DSP or native, you have two different software hubs to install two different sets of plugins, which already gets quite confusing, but it generally works okay. UA Connect is all right. I haven't had too many issues with it. I did have one plugin that wouldn't install, but I managed to solve that relatively easily. But this is the thing that I often find where, we end up spending so much time troubleshooting just to be able to install the plugins that we want to install. If we had just had a separate installer just for that plugin, it would have been a pretty straightforward process. But instead, we have to download a bit of software and then we have to create an account and then you've got to activate the licenses, install the software. It gets pretty annoying when you've got to do that for multiple companies. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely feel this way. I find it a bit of a pain. So with Pro Tools, with the Pro Tools Inner Circle, you get some free plugins and other goodies, sample libraries and stuff. If you're subscribed to Pro Tools, or if you have a perpetual license that's active with their update plan or whatever they call that nonsense. One of the free things that you get is a plugin by Antares. Sounded kind of interesting at the time, and so I figured I'd give it a go and install it, thinking I'd just download and install the installer for this plugin. But no, instead you have to install Auto-Tune Central, or it's called something like that. You have to download that, which is about 10 times as big, at least, as the individual plugin installer would be. You have to download that, and then I had to create an account with Antares, and then get on and download and install and activate the plugin. All this for a free plugin, but I've no idea whether I'm actually going to use or not. It was some sort of, I think, like spatial effect, maybe like a vocal doubler, like chorus kind of thing. So a plugin that I already have some plugins like that anyway, but a plugin that, is a kind of specialist tool, I guess, more niche thing that I'm not going to use all the time, if I do even end up liking it and using it on projects. And in the end, I couldn't even get this thing to install. The Auto-Tune Central, or whatever it was called, like the software just wouldn't work properly and it wouldn't install this plugin. And I remember going on their forums and just, trying to find out. I think I even contacted their customer support. In the end, I gave up because I realized, like, hang on a minute, this is just for a free plugin that I'm probably not even going to use. Like, this isn't worth the hassle. If I ever did want to buy Auto-Tune or one of their other products, and I was actually paying for one of their plugins, I'd be quite apprehensive now based on that experience, because I'd be worried that I wouldn't even be able to get what I paid for working. It just seems a lot simpler to me if there'd just been an individual installer for this plugin, especially for a free plugin where that's kind of acting as a hook to hook people in to a company's products. If you just have an individual installer where you don't have to sign up for an account for stuff and then download, their proprietary software installer thing and all of that nonsense. Instead, if you can just quickly download a plugin file and install it, you're probably way more likely to actually go through that process and actually use the plugin and then get hooked in and go, oh, actually, I quite like this company's products. Maybe I'll buy some of their other stuff. Maybe that's just me, but that's kind of my way of thinking with it. I've had issues before, I think, with nearly every one of these bits of software from, whatever company it might be. Using Wave Central earlier to install the new Black Friday plugin, can't remember what it's called, but installing that, I had some other plugins to update as well. I went to do that and it got stuck installing the new plugin. It installed it and activated it, but then got stuck on syncing at 99.2%. So after about 10 minutes, I eventually just gave up and figured, I'll close the software, reopen it. It probably has installed. It just got stuck right near the very end, but it probably has worked. So I did that and opened up Wave Central again, and it had installed, or at least it looked like it had. It looked like it was fine. So then I go to boot up Pro Tools to record the audio for this video from my mic, and I load up a session that I have as a template for doing audio recordings like this for videos with an SM7B or 58 when I'm not using a shotgun mic or something like that. If I'm holding mic, I have a template set up with particular plugins and processing. So essentially I can record and then the audio is kind of already processed and mixed, ready for me to export, maybe with some minimal tweaking. And some of the plugins I use on this mic processing is the Waves Renaissance bundle. So I load the session up and it comes up saying that it couldn't find the Waves Renaissance plugins in my plugin folder. So somehow in the process, this might have not been anything to do with Wave Central, but it seemed like a bit of a weird coincidence that I use Wave Central, install a new plugin, it has a little issue, the software hangs up. And then when I open Pro Tools, some of my other plugins now no longer work. So I'll probably have to go back into Wave Central, uninstall those, reinstall them, whatever. So what should have been a simple 5-minute task is now then turned into a half-hour task or whatever it might be then trying to problem solve a bunch of issues. And I just get tired sometimes of all this problem solving for stuff that should just work. So I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about this. Does this annoy you like it does me? Drop your comments down below. Let us know your thoughts. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it and agree or disagree with what I'm saying. Subscribe, that helps the channel out. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys again in the next one. Also, I hope you have a great Christmas and New Year's Eve. And yeah, I probably won't do any videos between now and then. So I'll see you guys in the new year in 2025. See you next time.